up YouTube? Jamie the Kid 00 here, coming at you guys with the last of the big three fire decks that are part of the meta right now. You guys have wanted to see the fire deck profiles more than anything on my channel, mainly through the last format, and I wasn't able to supply them. So now I'm supplying all three of the big names, in my opinion, all in basically a row. I'm sorry if I sound a bit bungy or if I clear my throat. I've had to put off this video because I've been quite ill, and now that I'm actually kind of talking again, I'm actually going to bring you guys this. So this is going to be my Fire King list. This is kind of my first draft. This is what I've been testing a bit. I'm still not fantastically happy with it, but I guess that's because I really prefer Fire Fist to Fire King. But with that said, we're going to get into the deck profiles. So I'm going to move the extra deck over here and try not to knock everything over, which I kind of did. And we're going to get into the deck profile. I'm going to try my best to explain some of my deck choices. But if I start being unable to talk again, I guess I'm gonna have to start just shooting through things. So let's go through it now. To start things off, I play two Fire King High Avatar Garunix. It's your basic monster destruction, your boss monster, the main aim of the deck to get out. And I only like it in 2 because 3 clog's so damn bad. I don't care what you say. There's like even if you want to play 3, even if you have ways of getting it out of the deck quickly, like with Foolish Burial and things like that, I'd still argue that you are going to open it more often that way, more often, even though you'll be playing 3. You'll have more ways to get it out, but you will open it more often. So I do only play 2. There are enough ways to get it back to the field with Fire Circle and things like that. I don't feel that 3 Garunix is a good number. Unless you're going to play like 3 Garunix and then Sacred Phoenix as well and start playing trade-ins. But that just adds other inconsistencies to the deck, so I feel that just sticking to 2 Garunix is your best bet if you're trying to build a consistent list. Continuing on, we play 3 copies of Fire King Avatar Barong. I really like the fact that the Fire King base monsters have 1800 attack compared to Fire Fist only having 1600, because this gives you a lot of validity in the meta. These cards are able to beat over Gigia Arsenals. They are able to beat over Mermaid Abyss Pikes, Mermaid Abyss Turges, Fire Fist Bears, Fire Fist Gorillas. They're able to go toe-to-toe with Dragon, of course, if there isn't a fire formation on the field. And if these guys have a couple of fire formations backing them up, they're even able to attack over things like Gigia Armor. So that 1800 is very important, as well as the 200 on the back. Barong is a card that's really, really strong if you're going up against an opponent who doesn't play Deep Prisons, because when he's destroyed by an effect in the next standby phase, he's going to search you a Fire King card, which of course searches you your Onslought and gets you very quickly to your Garunix play. Otherwise, I find this is a card I hold in my hand quite a lot if I don't have the Garunix play, until I find a Yaksha, and then I use Yaksha to blow up the Barong in hand and search me an Onslought. So that's usually the ways I use my Barongs. Then continuing on, I play 3 copies of Fire King Avatar Yaksha. Fire King Avatar Yaksha is really, really nice because it gives the deck a way to get Garunixes out of the hand by destroying them in the hand. Before Yaksha came out, this deck was really, really limited in its ways to get Garunix out of the hand, and that was when it did have to play trade-ins or just risk drawing it and having to hold it for the rest of the game, or having to tribute summon it on the very odd occasion in which they could. But 3 Yaksha, I have no complaints about that. I think it's a very, very strong card. Again, 1800 by 200, 2 very valid statistics, which we'll get to in a bit with regards to the 200. But 1800, you heard my reasoning on the Barong. I'm then playing 1 Fire King Avatar Garunix, mainly because I can only find one. Garunix is really, Baby Garunix as people call him, is really, really nice. He has the usual effect that all of the other level 4 Fire Kings have, where if a Fire King monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And he also has the effect, if this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Fire King Avatar monster from your deck. So this card's ability to recruit your Yakshas and your Barongs is really, really nice. I should stress that it cannot search Garunix, wherever Garunix is gone, because Garunix is a Fire King High Avatar, not a Fire King Avatar. So I originally thought this card was broken, because I thought it could just get me straight to Big Garunix. Sadly it can't, but it's still pretty damn good. So I like 1 of these. I only have 1. I would personally play 2, but and cut down the next card that I have in the deck to 1, or cut out the Gorilla, which I'll say in here is, cut out the Gorilla for the Garunix. But I really like Garunix. Another card which I think is really, really cool in this deck is 2 copies of Fencing Fire Ferret. I am playing the Skill Drain variant, so Fire Ferret is really nice in this for that reason. But I also like Fire Ferret's interaction with Circle of the Fire Kings, because of the fact that Fire Ferret reads, when this card is destroyed by a card effect, it doesn't have to be your, when this card is destroyed, it doesn't have to be by your opponent, by you, it doesn't have to be by a card effect, battle, whatever. When this card is destroyed, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls and deal 500 damage to your opponent for that. So if you have your 1700 Fencing Fire Ferret, which is pretty good in its own right, having 1700, you can then also Circle of the Fire Kings it, and just knock out your opponent's monster. You can also Onslought it, I believe. I'm not sure if Onslought can get it. Yeah, you can Onslought it, and then in the end phase, when it dies due to Onslought, you can blow up an opponent's monster. So it gives you instantaneous monster removal during your turn. I prefer using it with Circle of the Fire Kings, because you can have this, you can be going aggressive with this. If your opponent tries to kill it with a prison, or some way that doesn't actually, quote-unquote, destroy it, you're able to then circle it off for either one of the avatars, your bear, your Wolfbark, your any of the fires that could be in the graveyard, and then destroy their monster and deal 500. So it's really, really nice. Has a really nice synergy with circle. And under skill drain, it's crazy good. It's just really good problem solving, in my opinion. And then play one bear, because bear is just the generic guy. Hey, he gets you to your Tenkis. What more cool would you want? This deck also plays Lance, so he has a really nice synergy with Lance. One card which I'm currently testing and I plan on taking out instead for either Garunix or Sacred Phoenix of Nepthys for the increased number of back row heavy decks in this new format. I'm playing one Gorilla, but I'm really not liking him at the moment, so I would recommend cutting this for something else, but he's in the list at the moment. And then finally, the last monster I play is one Coach Soldier Wolfbark. Coach Soldier Wolfbark was a mainstay at 3 in this deck originally. It was really, really good at 3, but sadly, of course, Wolfbark did go to 1. So it does hurt the deck a little bit, but it's in here. It can get back your Yakshas, it can get back your Barongs, and a tiny, tiny bit of theory that will only ever come up once in a blue moon. It is, this card can play around Torrential really nicely if you have Lance. Because of the fact you play Fire Kings, depending on the monster in your graveyard, if you have a Barong or even a Yaksha, depending on what's in your hand, your opponent isn't going to want to Torrential you when you've brought your monster back with Wolfbark. Because if you go Wolfbark, bring back a Barong, and they Torrential there, you're going to get a search. So the place that I guess a clever player is going to want to hit you is either when you summon the Wolfbark right off, or when you make it exceeds with the Wolfbark, with the monster the Wolfbark brought back. Those are both single monsters, so you're able to Lance if they Torrential. Otherwise, if they're going to Torrential on the 2, I mean, you could still Lance the Wolfbark and get the search if they want to be bad. But they're usually going to Torrential on the 1, so it's pretty damn good. He's a little bit of theory with Wolfbark for you. So that's the monster lineup. It's still very small. I think it's only about 14 monsters, but your spells help you get to where you want to be, really. For the spells, one Dark Hole. I should probably speed this up because I'm running out of battery. One Dark Hole, one Book of Moon. This card's been iffy, but Book of Moon's still really, really versatile, so I really like it. Especially going into games 2 and 3 when Firefist will be siding in Banishers. This card is really strong. One Rekindling. Thank you to Johnny for the DT one. At least now it's not common. Rekindling is just too good in this deck. You play 6 targets, so why wouldn't you play this? It's instant. This card is great because it's an instant Exiton if you've got 2 targets in grave, so it's kind of good. Then double MST. I couldn't bring myself to play 3, but the third is sided. You don't need 3 that often, to be honest. Then double Lance, because you want to be protecting your Garunix from Bottomless. That is almost always when you want to be holding your Lance 4, especially if you don't have Circle of the Fire Kings. And it's also good in situations where you're getting Torrential and things like that don't target. So that if they're situations that what's it called? Circle of the Fire Kings won't help you because it'll only trade out your monster and then that new monster will get Torrential instead. So Lance is good in those situations. Then for the actual Fire King cards, I play 3 copies of Onslought of the Fire Kings. This card is broken, in my opinion. Special summon a Fire Beast Warrior or Wing Beast from your deck and its effects negate and then it's destroyed in the end phase? Okay. I heard Garunix and Nepthys were good cards. And I hope when they're destroyed by a card effect, something good happens. So I'll let you guys figure out why this card is good. 3 copies of Circle of the Fire Kings. This card, there's so much theory behind this card. It's one of the, in my opinion, one of the most versatile cards in the deck because it can get you out of so many situations. It can do so many cool things. Now that Wolfbark is at 1, it's, oh hey, a monster reborn for that 1 Wolfbark, which is kind of awkward to get back out of the graveyard otherwise. So 3 Circle are just so good. I guess I'm going to put one to the one side to talk about a really good play with them. But otherwise, 3 Circle is just crazy good. And then the last spell I play is 3 copies of Fire Formation Tenki to get us to our Fire King Beast Warriors, and also to get us to our Wolfbarks, so we can make a power play. Bear for removal, Gorilla for back row removal. You should understand why. So those are spells. Then the traps. This is the skill drain variant, so I am playing double skill drain. And I should also comment on the fact that the Lance is doubly helpful because it gets us around the skill drain as well. So in situations in which you need to play around the skill drain, you can Lance. So it's pretty good. Otherwise, double skill drain is really, really good. It barely hurts this deck. Other than Wolfbark and Bear, there's nothing else that really hurts in the deck. So skill drain's pretty good. The third is sided, of course. But these are in here where Fiendish Chains would be. They have the same weaknesses as Fiendish Chain. So skill drain is just good. The one trap stun, this allows you to go off. This allows you to stop yourself from getting bottomless, prisoned, and whatnot. And it also allows you to go off under the skill drain because you can just trap stun your own skill drain and your opponent's back row, and then just go crazy from there. So it has some good synergy with the deck in both parts. Then I play double prison because I'm not playing the Fiendish Chains because of course the skill drains are in there. So double prison's really good. I like a trap lineup in this deck. Just call me crazy. Double Mirror Force because it's really, really strong. One Bottomless Trap Hole, one Torrential Tribute, and one Warning. And one other thing I should probably be saying is, now that the new Gold Series is out, I know it's not going to be that frequently played, but you are going to come up against some odd decks that will make BLs, and BLs will just screw you up because you're not prepared for it. So Double Prison is just too good. You need to be playing it because BLs is a card now. And it's sad that one card is going to start dictating the meta again, but it has to be in there just for those situations. Right, on to the extra deck. The extra deck is basically just best rank 4s extra deck, but there's some cool cards in here, I guess. It's pretty boring. You don't make extra deck monsters that often, but when you do, they're pretty damn good. So, to start things off, I'm playing double Tiger King. You're playing a majority Beast Warrior deck. You're going to be making this card quite frequently, if at all. You know, if you're making an Xyz play, you're going to be making Tiger King. So, it's in there. It touches your Tenkis. It sets you up with more Beast Warrior plays. It's a skill drain at the end of the day. So, it's just a good card. One Cardinal while we're playing the Bear and the Gorilla. There's so much space in the extra deck in this version. You really don't have to worry, so you can play situational cards like Cardinal. One Kagutsuchi, because, hey, milling through your deck is actually pretty cool in this deck, because it can put your Garunix in grave if you haven't already found it. So it can put the Garunix in grave, so you can fire Circle of the Fire Kings it later on. So Kagutsuchi is in there. Double Direwolf, because destroying your stuff is actually kind of good in this deck. One Lavalval Chain, which is actually a really, really strong card in this deck, which I want to talk about quickly. Because of the fact that you can Foolish Burial and Garunix, go aggro with this card, try and bait out some battle traps if you're able to. You Foolish Burial the Garunix nonetheless, and then you can Circle of the Fire Kings, the Lavalval Chain away for the Garunix if your opponent has the response to the Lavalval Chain. Or even if you make Lavalval Chain and try and Foolish a second Garunix, you can, circle this out of the way so it can't be Fiendish Chained. If they respond with a Fiendish Chain, you can circle this out of the way, get back, whatever other fire monsters you have in graveyard, and the Garunix is still going to manage to go to the graveyard. So Lavalval Chain has some pretty good synergy as well with Circle of the Fire Kings, as if half the deck didn't already have good synergy with it. So Circle is really a very, very strong card in this deck. Continuing on, we play the Roach Brothers in the form of Evil Storm Exciton Knight and Steelstorm Roach. We have enough back row to protect Roach, and it's really, really strong against the Hieratic deck. Oh my god. You really have to be playing this for the Hieratic matchup and the Gigia OTK matchup if you don't have the skill drain, but you already have a fairly good matchup against that, especially because Garunix blows stuff up. Then otherwise, I play 1/101 on a rock for those special summon pesky things. One number 50 Black Ship for solving problems, basically. Zen Means is actually kind of awkward in this deck. And it's actually pretty good against Exciton as well if you don't have recurring destruction cool things like Garunix. If you're stuck behind Exciton and your opponent's going to blow you up if you go into the battle phase, you can just Black Ship it. So it's pretty good. It's just good against a lot of things. One Maestroke. Yeah, Maestroke is a good card. One Abyss Dweller, one Cowboy, and one number 85 Crazy Box because we play Skill Drain. So yeah, guys, sorry for this kind of nasally, cold-ridden Fire King deck. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've really actually enjoyed this deck because it's a lot more fun than Fire Fist. It's just not as good as Fire Fist in my opinion, sadly. I hate to say that because I really don't want to play Fire Fist in this format. But the deck is just coming out to be really, really strong. So that brings me to the end of this deck profile. I hope you've enjoyed. I'm going to be back as soon as I can be with some more deck profiles. I know I've got a tag video to do, which I was tagged in by SlimX Team Symmetry. I am aware of that, I just haven't been able to get around to it. And I need to do a few other things like that. But otherwise, hopefully there's going to be some more content pretty soon. I've been having some more upload troubles, so that Firefist deck profile, the reason why the Firefist deck profile wasn't up for 2 days was because it was uploading for 2 days. It's still not up at the moment. It's at like 34% after 2 days, and I'm probably going to have to go to the IT suite and upload it. Oh no, wait, it's a 40% with 4,000 minutes remaining. That's not even a joke. I'd move the camera, but there's other stuff on there. But otherwise, yeah, I'm rambling now. I hope you guys have enjoyed. This has been Jamie the Kid 00, and I'll see you guys next time with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Related content. Peace out. Bye-bye.